Breaking: the IMF just dropped a nuclear announcement. XRP is now their official bridge currency for global debt. This is the financial reset nobody saw coming in an unprecedented turn of events. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has just revealed a bombshell announcement that is shaking the foundations of the global financial system. This news has sent shockwaves through financial markets worldwide, causing immediate reactions. According to an exclusive leak from sources inside the IMF, the world's most powerful financial institution has decided to make XRP the official bridge currency for settling global debt worth over $30 trillion. This move is seen as a revolutionary step in the financial world. This decision could very well mark the beginning of a massive financial reset, and XRP is at the very center of it. Experts are already debating the long-term implications of this unprecedented move. If you think that's big, buckle up, because it gets even better. This announcement is not just speculation. This is backed by insider sources revealing that the IMF has been working on a secret report detailing the transition towards a new financial order, one where XRP plays a central role. Now the IMF isn't just talking about the future, they're talking about right now. According to the leaked documents, XRP will be used to settle cross-border payments on a scale that's never been seen before. We're talking about settling debts between nations, financial institutions, and multinational corporations on a global scale. Now, you might be asking yourself, why XRP? What makes it the chosen one? Well, the truth lies in Ripple's ISO 20022 compliance, Ripple's blockchain technology. And the XRP token are the only cryptocurrencies that have received approval from the ISO 20022 standards, which is a major framework that will govern financial messaging systems worldwide. This makes XRP the only cryptocurrency in the world that meets these critical global standards, and you don't just get ISO 20022 compliance by chance. It's because Ripple's technology has been built with institutional grade requirements in music. Mined XRP's scalability, speed, and ability to provide liquidity in an efficient manner have made it the perfect candidate to be used in global transactions. The IMF's decision to adopt XRP for settling trillions in global debt is based on the fact that the XRP ledger is faster, cheaper, and more secure than traditional banking methods. Traditional financial systems like the SWIFT network are outdated and inefficient when it comes to handling cross-border payments. XRP offers a next-generation solution that can settle these payments almost instantly and at a fraction of the cost. The IMF's endorsement of XRP isn't just a vote of confidence in Ripple's technology, it's a global endorsement of XRP as the future of cross-border finance. Let's talk about the magnitude of this deal. According to the leaked IMF documents, the plan is for XRP to absorb a significant portion of global reserves over the next decade. Specifically, the IMF aims to have XRP settle at least 10% of the global reserves that are traditionally handled by fiat currencies like the US dollar, the euro, and others. To put that into perspective, if XRP were to manage just 10% of global reserves, we would be looking at a price point of $50,000 per XRP, and that's a conservative music estimate. Let's break this down further. There are currently 50 billion XRP in circulation and only a limited supply of XRP tokens available. When a global entity like the IMF steps in and pushes for a shift towards XRP for global debt settlement, the demand for XRP would skyrocket with so many trillions of dollars in global debt to be settled. The financial world is looking for solutions, and with only a fixed supply of XRP available, it's clear that the price of XRP would have to rise substantially to meet the growing demand. If 10% of global reserves were to be tied up in XRP, the impact would be significant. It would mean that billions of dollars worth of XRP would be absorbed by governments, banks, and other major financial players. Financial institutions around the world would hold XRP, integrating it into their operations and potentially driving its value even music higher. Now let's talk about the urgency of the situation. Governments and major financial institutions are already preparing for this shift. There are already signs that banks are quietly accumulating XRP in secret behind closed doors. Central banks and financial giants are preparing to secure their position before the rest of the world catches. Music on Ripple has already been in discussions with key financial players, and these partnerships will only continue to grow. The question is, will you be ready to take advantage of this opportunity? The truth is that we're on the verge of a massive transformation in global finance. XRP's role as a global bridge currency will not only allow Ripple to continue growing, but will also give rise to an entirely new financial ecosystem that will madness. Some believe the stars are aligning for XRP in ways we haven't seen before. So one big reason for these global financial shifts is that as interest rates begin to soften and, discussions of rate reductions really start to heat up, assets like XRP are drawing fresh attention. There's a big change ahead. Rate reductions are near, and XRP might see a big surge. That's what XRP Pulse tweeted, hinting at what could be a massive influx of liquidity into the crypto space. And while historical comparisons don't always predict the future, they sure do fuel hope, don't they? Steph, another member of the XRP community, pointed out a fact that's honestly hard to ignore. Bitcoin went from $2 in 2012 to $1,200 in 2014. So what's stopping XRP from doing the same? That's a powerful question. And really, it leads us to perhaps the boldest prediction of them all. Remy Relief, a widely followed voice within the XRP ecosystem, made headlines recently by claiming XRP could reach $1,200 before the end of 2018, this year. At first glance, that sounds pretty insane, especially when XRP is still hovering around $2. Hitting that target would mean it's a staggering 56,000% price increase, but Relief's argument actually hinges on global infrastructure, not just market hype. He points to SWIFT, the international financial messaging system, which moves an estimated $5 trillion per day, about $1.25 quadrillion per year, if XRP through Ripplet or its integration with central bank digital currency systems can capture even a small percentage of that volume. It could drastically alter its value. Relief even claims that this could happen without the support of ETFs, derivatives, or tokenization platforms. But that, of course, raises a question: what if those financial tools did get involved? Let's pause for a second and explain what an ETF actually is. An ETF is like a bundle of assets that trades on traditional stock exchanges. Think of it as a simple, low-risk way for big institutions and everyday investors to get exposure to an asset without directly buying or holding it for crypto. An ETF provides legitimacy. It signals that regulators and the traditional finance world are willing to embrace this technology in a more official capacity. Some say XRP is still sleeping quietly, building momentum, while the rest of the world argues about who's right and who's wrong. But the people paying attention see entirely a storm forming on the horizon. And for those holding strong, it might just be the breakout moment they've been waiting for. And now we know Ripple isn't just surviving, it's setting up to take over the global financial system with its revolutionary tech. While some were busy doubting, Ripple was busy building the latest partnerships. They're not just impressive, they're a massive bullish signal. These moves are catching even the harshest critics off guard. What Ripple's doing right now will absolutely surprise you. So while skeptics continue to focus on short-term price charts, something much bigger is brewing behind the scenes. XRP isn't just another crypto trying to survive the bear market, it's being integrated into the very core of the next generation financial infrastructure. This global adoption narrative is not hype anymore. John Squire tweeted, India just completed its first crude oil deal with the UAE using local currencies. And the XRP ledger is part of the infrastructure. This taps into a $500 trillion industry. The shift has started. Think about that, $500 trillion, that's not just a big number, it's a tectonic shift in how value moves across borders. For XRP to be part of that foundation means it's positioned where the real financial power flows. Oil commodities cross-border trade, these are trillion-dollar rails, and Ripple's tech is laying new tracks right through them. And it's not just in the Middle East or India and Asia. Institutional money is already knocking on XRP's door. Finance Bull dropped a powerful update. XRP just secured another institutional win, this time in Asia. Hashkey Capital launches Asia's first XRP tracker fund with Ripple as early backer. Not a meme, not a promise, a real product for real money. Meanwhile, Europe is making quiet but powerful moves. 2. The digital euro just entered its preparation phase. Christine Lagarde, president of the ECB, even had a recent meeting with Michael Barr, who used to be a Ripple advisor. Adoprina commented on it, noting that France has already praised XRP. You don't have to connect many dots to see where this is heading. If XRP gets woven into the foundation of Europe's digital currency future, that's a game changer. And Ripple's not stopping there. Africa, often overlooked in crypto discussions, is now a focal point. Amex revealed Ripple and Chipper cash partner for fast, low-cost cross-border crypto payments to Africa. This isn't just a feel-good story. This is about enabling entire regions with real-time financial access, skipping outdated SWIFT systems and using XRP as the bridge currency. Now here's the point. Every time XRP gets adopted into a new country, a new fund, or a new payment quarter, its potential value grows, not just from speculation, but from real-world use. And global adoption doesn't happen all at once. It happens like this, in partnerships, in policy meetings, in fund launches. And of course, you can't lose sight of the whales. These aren't just investors. They're the silent architects of the market. They move billions without making a sound. And when they strike, they create the headlines we react to. They have access to insider briefings, private meetings, and strategies that never make it to public forums. So when they start moving, it means something's coming. So when whales move large sums, the entire market takes notice. This is exactly what's happening right now. With XRP, a major whale recently transferred a staggering almost 67 million XRP, valued at over $143 million between unknown wallets. This massive transaction has ignited rumors and speculation that XRP could be gearing up for a substantial move, especially since it's been holding steady above the critical $2 support level. But why does this matter? Well, whales are often the catalysts for big price movements. They have the liquidity and the insider knowledge to influence the market, sometimes without us even knowing their intentions. This kind of transaction, especially with such a hefty sum, suggests that a larger strategy could be in play. Is it a prelude to a breakout, or is it simply another move designed to position for the next market shift? The timing of the transfer adds to the mystery, as the market momentum has been building and technical indicators show some mixed signals. One thing's for certain: when whales like this start moving, it's not random. On-chain data has been showing a notable increase in exchange reserves, which currently sit at around $6 billion, a 6% jump in just 24 hours. Typically, rising exchange reserves point to an increase in potential selling pressure as more tokens are being made available for trade. But here's the twist: whales can use these moments to their advantage. They might not be looking to sell immediately, but instead could be strategically positioning themselves for what's to come. These large inflows could signal a buildup before a big price surge, which is often the case with whales. Now let's take a step back and consider what this means. In the bigger picture, XRP is more than just a token. It's becoming increasingly integrated into global financial systems, with its ledger being used for high-value transactions, including in regions like Asia and Africa. The technical analysis may fluctuate, but the real value of XRP lies in its use case, and its growing adoption across institutions and governments. As the whales position themselves and retail activity rises, this could be the calm before the storm, a strategic buildup before XRP's next potential price surge. And the only question remaining is, what are your thoughts on that? Are you bullish on XRP Ripple token? What are your predictions? Let me know in the comment section. Would be curious to know. And with that, we come to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the content and found it valuable, make sure to hit that like button, leave a comment with your thoughts, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe